We all watched your rally last night indoors. Of course, the Secret Service suggested you have indoor rallies given what happened to you less than 2 weeks ago. Earlier this week, we heard from the Secret Service director. She was asked a bunch of really good questions. She didn't really give any answers. Yesterday, Christopher Wray, the FBI director, was on. He had lots more things we had never heard before, including the fact that the gunman, the day that he registered to go to your rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, he also Googled, and this was the search, he Googled, how far away was Oswald from Kennedy? When you heard about that, what did you think?
Well, look, some big mistakes were made, and, you know, they didn't give me, because I'll have rallies of 55, 60,000 people. Biden would have a rally with 30 people, and they took people from my rallies, and they wouldn't have my people were constantly complaining that they need more people. And they would, I wasn't very much involved in it. That was up to them, but they were constantly complaining that they're not given enough people, because I had a rally in New Jersey, 107,000 people. They don't have rallies. Nobody goes to a Biden rally. Very few people. Once the rose starts to fade, very few people are going to be going to her rallies. She's terrible at rallies and speaking, but very few people. But we're getting crowds. Like last night, we had 25,000 people inside. We had another 25,000 people outside that couldn't get into the arena. And we do need, now I will say they've really beefed it up in the last week. It was pretty amazing when I looked at the difference. But my people, and they're very good people. Look, I had people standing on that stage with me, and within seconds, I had 7 or 8 people
but Mr. President,
laying on top of me, and they were very brave. They were very brave. But they made a mistake in not having somebody on the roof, and the communications with local police was obviously horrible.
Why did they let you get out the car? I mean, we're noticing now through the messages that's coming out now that they knew about the gunman before you even stepped foot on the stage. So why did they let you get out of the car?
Well, the biggest mistake they made is allowing me to go. There wasn't even a car. It was like a tent, but the tent was, you know, safe. Nobody knew you were there. And they shouldn't have let me go on the stage. Now, they just weren't communicating properly with the local police. Different groups of people knew there was some nut job on the roof, and he was up there. And the one woman, a real Trumper, she got Trump all over, and she's screaming, there's a guy with a gun on the roof, and that was, you know, quite a bit before I walked up to the stage. And then you had the local policeman who, it looks like he got up there and he saw the guy, and then he fell off the roof. And what happened to him? Why didn't he start screaming there's a gun? So there are many people, but the communication was bad. And, you know, oftentimes, like if there's lightning or thunder or big rains or there's a problem, they'll say, sir, could you wait 15 minutes, please? Or could you wait 10 minutes? That happens a lot. Or there's a crowd of people somewhere.
Mr. President, I was just going to inject. You just mentioned the weather. It sounds like from the reporting over the last 24 hours, there was supposed to be somebody on that roof, but the person was not on the roof because apparently it was too hot.
Well, hadn't heard that, but that's a terrible thing, and it's just a terrible thing. It's such a shame, and the Secret Service, they're such great people.
Yes,
it's a blight on their reputation. There should have been somebody on the roof. When you look at it now, it's a clear shot, and it's amazing that, you know, look, a person died, a fantastic Corey, and 2 great people were very badly hurt. I'm in communication with them, and the public has been so generous. We set up a fund, and the public's been so generous. But it's like, you know, a lot of money was given to the family of Corey, and the statement was, so nice, this is so nice, but I wish I had my husband back.
Of course.
The wife said that. And she doesn't want the money. They don't want the money. They had a great relationship. Corey was a fire chief and just a real great guy, everybody said. And, you know, they don't want money. They want their husband back. They want their father back. And he was very brave. He shielded the wife and the 2 girls, his 2 daughters, and he got hit hard. He got really hit hard. That's a tough one. When you get hit with those bullets, that's a tough one.
And what people don't understand, when you do meet with these families, you ask them questions. You want to know about these people. I only found that out talking to the Diller family and people that saw you in the wake in in my town. But just moving on to something less important than life and death, but just about this election, they keep on tying you, whether it's yesterday's testimony when they were talking to Christopher Wray, or whether it's Kamala Harris on the stump. They keep on tying you to Project 2025, which is a 900-page tome put out by the Heritage Foundation. What is your response to what's in it, and what would you like to say about the role it's playing in your campaign?
It's a group of very, very conservative people. They wrote a document that many of the points are fine. Many of the points are absolutely ridiculous. I have nothing to do with the document. I've never seen the document. I've seen certain things that are said in it. And it's a group of very conservative people that probably like me, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't speak for me. They wrote something that I disagree with in many cases, and in some cases you agree. But it's like a group of radical left people that write something, and, you know, people get angry by it. This is a document I know nothing about. It's called Project 25. I heard about it a week ago, and has nothing to do with me whatsoever. But, of course, our friends that are Democrats, radical left Democrats, they take the document, which is, I guess, pretty big and thorough, and they scour through it. And anything that's bad in there or that's a little bit less than mainstream, they take it and they make a big deal out of it. Donald Trump and Project 25. Are you ready? I know nothing about Project 25. I haven't seen the document. I don't intend to really see the document. And it's a group of people that got together that wrote some kind of a dream document for them. But it has absolutely nothing to do with me. And it's just disinformation, Brian, by the Democrats. It's pure disinformation.
So, Mr. President, they plan on using that to attack you, but they're also trying to divide the country. And you've seen what they've already started to do because Kamala Harris is Jamaican as well as Indian. How are you going to handle that? Because you made real gains with black voters, Hispanic voters, young voters. They're giving you a shot because they like where you stand on the economy. They like where you stand with criminal justice reform, giving their kids a quality education. So when you go toe-to-toe with Kamala Harris on that debate stage and all the publicity with the press and all that, how are you going to handle that?
Well, I handle it very easily. I have the economy on my side. We had the greatest economy in history. They have a lousy economy that's so inflation-ridden. We have the worst. I think we have the worst inflation in the history of our country, and it's destroying people, where people have to pay twice and three times more than they were paying for something 1 year ago, 2 years ago. Look at what's happening to energy. Look at what's happening to food, all these things. So I have that. I have the border on my side. The border is a big deal. I fixed it once. I got it down to a level, the best ever, and then they broke it. They've broken it. I had to do it twice. I did it in 2016, and then these guys came along and they broke it. We have 20 million people. Many of them are criminals. Many of them are terrorists pouring into our country. We have no idea who they are, where they come from, and they come from all over the world, not just South America. They have nothing on their side. And the abortion issue, which they think they have, they now don't have, because I was able to bring that back to the states, and the people are voting on it. And most people believe in the exceptions, the three exceptions. And the abortion issue is a much smaller. Look at what happened in Ohio. They voted, and they got what you would say the progressives wanted. Yep. Very much so. Same thing in Kansas. They got the people are voting. Everybody wanted that issue, the abortion. They didn't want Roe v. Wade.
And now the states have
They wanted it to be taken out of Congress. They wanted it to be taken out of the federal government. I was able to do that, and now people are voting, and they're voting the way the people want. That's
Mr.
the way
President,
it was always supposed to be.
You're talking.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.